So the distinguished chiefs from other nations who are here, revered elders, our government officials, Bishop Joseph, friends. For all of us, I think this occasion marks a significant, indeed an historic milestone as we signed the sacred covenant, which I believe is forging a new relationship between Tk'emlúps, Secwépemc nation, the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Vancouver, and the Diocese of Kamloops. We are here because two elders, former Chief Manny Jules and former Assembly of First Nations Chief Phil Fontaine, had the idea late in 2021. They wanted to bridge the wide gap that had developed between First Nations and the Catholic Church. They saw the understandable wave of grief unleashed because of the reports out of Kamloops, but together they made the hard decision to welcome Catholics into the healing journey that each nation was navigating. For their responses to the Catholic Church in this matter, I am truly very, very grateful. Chief Manny Jules has often and wisely stated that one cannot reconcile without the other. And on behalf of Bishop Joseph and the Catholics we together represent, we thank you for welcoming us here today. Thank you. We are also here because Tk'emlúps Chief Kupi Roseanne Casimir seized an opportunity for further healing. She was invited, as you've heard and know, to the Vatican to meet with Pope Francis in March of 2022. She then met him again when he visited Canada in July of that year. I dare say that she has spent more time with the Pope than most of the bishops of Canada, certainly me. Kupi Roseanne has forthrightly and passionately articulated the need for the Catholic Church to be transparent, accountable, and ready to learn and to listen. And we are here today as a sign of our willingness and our commitment to do just that. Consequently, I would like to share an unambiguous message that I am aware of and deeply sorry for, the tragedies that flowed from the residential school system. In my 2013 expression of apology and hope before the Truth and Reconciliation Commission meeting in Vancouver, I acknowledged that the Archdiocese of Vancouver played a lamentable role in implementing a deeply flawed policy, which led, as I wrote, to unbearable pain and suffering, and to supporting a policy aimed at suppressing Aboriginal cultures and languages. Since then, having met with more survivors and heard even more first-hand account, I can state even more clearly just how aware the Church is of the damage done to former students and their families, and how destructive the system was to being able to maintain community. While we cannot undo the past, as Catholics, we can do more to show our respect and our desire to serve. On this Easter Sunday, the greatest Christian day of hope, I would like to share a few thoughts about the sacred covenant that stand out for me. The first is the opening section, which clarifies Catholic teaching regarding First Nation rights, which follow from respect for the dignity of the human person. I'm aware that what is often referred to as the Doctrine of Discovery, that doctrine enables certain exploitative European explorers to do great damage to the rights and title of Indigenous populations here, but also around the world. As this sacred covenant states, which we have just signed, highlighted in bold and italics in the original, lest we miss their importance, the Doctrine of Discovery consisted of a series of confusing and political documents written by Pope Alexander VI in the late 1400s. I'm very thankful to the drafters of this sacred covenant that they were able to show that about 30 years after the Doctrine of Discovery was first made known, Pope Paul, a good name, Pope Paul III published official Catholic teaching on the contested claims. And I would like to cite to you from that papal document. It's in the covenant. This is then from the 16th century. All other people who may later be discovered by Christians are by no means to be deprived of their liberty or the possession of their property, even though they are outside the faith of Jesus Christ, and that they may and should freely and legitimately enjoy their liberty and the possession of their property, nor should they be in any way enslaved. Should the contrary happen, it shall be null and void and have no effect. This teaching, of course, was known to the Catholic explorers, but in far too many cases, they ignored it. For their part, there were Christian missionaries who did serve Indigenous people, both here and in other parts of the world. But numerous Catholics still chose to participate in implementing government policies, including here, those established in the system of residential schools. As many of you know, a significant number of early relationships between our peoples did show great promise. And the sacred covenant highlights one particularly adventurous friendship. This friendship is beautifully captured in the photographs you see before you tonight, and which Chief Manny Jules has mentioned. The two chiefs, Louis Tk'emlúps of Kamloops and Johnny Chilenhitsa of Douglas Lake, as you heard, accompanied Father Lejeune, an oblate priest, across 2 continents to meet Pope Pius X in Rome. And there they advocated for the rights and title of First Nations people in this region, and they showed how their work together had advanced language and trade. In reading and hearing about that trip and more interesting details this evening, what strikes me most is the profound friendship that existed between these 3 men. This picture, which I really enjoy, also conveys a deep sense of respect, coupled, as you can see in the faces, with determination. They are equals and they are friends. They're together on a journey to promote and defend the rights of all of the people they represented and served, all sides. Father Lejeune, for his part, he loved, as you know, Indigenous languages, and was said, it's a little hard to believe, but they say he was proficient in more than 20 of the languages. In fact, he once told a gathering, apparently in Kamloops, that he could swear in 22 languages. No mean feat. Today we are called to honor these men and their extraordinary spirit of collaboration. Described in the sacred covenant just signed are several commitments to which I would like to draw your attention. First one, we want to help in any way we can with the ways you decide to honor and memorialize former students of the Kamloops Residential School and the other residential schools that you and your ancestors attended. The second commitment. These are sort of from the archdiocesan and diocesan side. While volumes of historical information have been shared, our researchers, archivists, and historians are ready to work with yours with the goal of creating more easily searchable tools that can answer the questions that you have. And third, we have retained scientific experts who have worked around the world on similar challenging situations. They are ready to serve you and to assist your teams in ensuring that the best technology is available to help you get the answers you deserve. We respect that you have so much work to do within your communities to comfort the elders, and you must decide prudently when and how to proceed. We stand ready to follow your lead. The Sacred Covenant establishes a shared path to truth and reconciliation, and it reflects the mutual conviction that honor, truth, justice, and healing are necessary to guide us together into the future. Lastly, I'd like to share a brief thought regarding the difference between a covenant and a contract. The document signed today is not just an ordinary contract. It's not transactional in nature. It's relational. And this difference is significant. A covenant involves people committed to a way of caring and communicating together. A covenant also entails a profound and significant undertaking. A covenant is not about a trivial matter, as a contract might be. In our case, the sacred covenant involves the honoring of your ancestors and the children who died or endured great suffering during their time in a residential school. On behalf of the Catholics whom Bishop Joseph and I represent, I pledge that we intend to continue to learn from you, to listen to your experiences, and to find new ways that can serve you and advocate for your interests. This covenant, I hope, indeed pray, won't just be a limited initiative. It can have ramifications that potentially could reach far and wide. Tonight, I am pleased to bring to you a message from Pope Francis, prepared especially for this event. Although protocol dictates that it was addressed to me, in fairness, I think it should be considered as a message for Kupi Rosanne. And I'd like to read to you the message. It's signed by the Cardinal Secretary of State, sort of the number 2 man. He writes on behalf of the Pope. This is what is written. His Holiness Pope Francis sends cordial greetings to all who are present for the signing of a covenant between the Tk'emlúps Secwépemc nation, the Archdiocese of Vancouver, and the Diocese of Kamloops. In light of the sufferings of the past, His Holiness hopes that this generous gesture will be a further step on the path toward truth and reconciliation. Indeed, today's gathering responds to the call of Pope Francis during his apostolic journey, when he spoke of the need for the Church and the Indigenous peoples of Canada to walk together, pray together, and work together. From his talk. Upon all organizers and all taking part in this event, the Holy Father willingly invokes the abundant blessings of Almighty God. Signed by Cardinal Parolin. And thank all of you again for allowing us to join in this section of your healing journey, one that we are on together. We are honored by this opportunity, and we're ready and willing to work hard for all that lies ahead. Just as on that very first Easter, when something totally unexpected and absolutely novel took place, this sacred covenant launches a truly new beginning, and one that I trust the Creator will bless as we continue to walk together in hope. May the Creator bless all of us.